past weekend, the Jayhawks rounded out non-conference play, defeating both Georgia Tech and North Texas. The Lady Jayhawks had standout offensive games, ending the day with a total of 22 runs scored. Not only just on Saturday, but the whole weekend, they ended with 35 runs in 4 games, which is incredible for the ladies.
Well, yeah, the offense did exactly what they needed to do. They were patient at the plate. They took walks. They waited for their pitches. They had power. They hit a couple home runs, deep doubles to score a lot of runs, and most of them came in the 4th inning of those games, which is kind of crazy. They scored 16 of those 35 runs in the 4th inning of 2 of their games.
And also the pitching was on Alexis Reed and Annie Formby, who pitched this week and combined for a .53 ERA, so shutdown pitching, as well as Shannon McGinley went 3 for 3 on Friday, and Shaylee Brickey went 2 for 2 on Sunday. So a lot of the hitting going, that pitching, the defense, no errors in 20 games. So everything's hitting for this team right now.
Yeah, all 3 parts of the game is working well for the Jayhawks right now. Yeah. Coach Megan Smith, touched about that after the game. She's really impressed with how this team has come together defensively, offensively, and with the pitching. So they're feeling good right now.
Yes, exactly. And so as I said that we rounded out non-conference play in the weekend, we're going into Big 12 play. Last season, we saw them drop off here. This season, we were talking about before the show how you kind of see a lot of parallels between the team. What are those parallels?
Well, it's really the pitching. Megan Smith loves when she has an ace she can go to, and this year it's Annie Formby. Last year it was Alicia Pilley, but I think Formby, I'm not so much worried about her fatigue anymore because she kind of takes her time pitching and she doesn't really rush it. Where Alicia Pilley kind of, she had a fast motion off the mound and she took her time. So I'm not worried about Formby at all with her fatigue. But I did see some fatigue early on in the games, but then she started to figure it out as she went on.
Right, she came back. She was able to strike a couple hitters in a row out. She got her confidence back. She slowed down. She got back to her discipline, her pace, and she was able to control the game right after that. So I think Alicia Pilley last year wasn't quite able to do that. Her arm got tired, but I'm not so worried about Formby with
right,
that.
And so as Formby has had such a standout performance this season, are you guys worried at all about the team relying too much on her going into the Big 12?
I think that's going to be a big problem because they saw the same exact thing happen last year. But I think that if they just even out they have a lot of depth in their pitching and good pitchers as well too. We saw Alexis Reed; she was lights out this weekend too in the game she pitched against Georgia Tech. So if they can just let Formby take a little bit of a back seat and rely on their bullpen who's been really good, I think they'll be fine.
Exactly. Formby pitched a lot over this weekend. She pitched in 3 of the 4 games. So if she is able to take a back seat, like you said, and let Alexis Reed get more of the innings, then both of them will definitely benefit, and they'll be able to keep going.
Right, and going into this weekend, we host Texas Tech. We are the Jayhawks are currently 6th in the Big 12. What do you guys think this weekend's going to look like for number 6 Kansas?
It's only their second series in the Big 12, and they've only played one series against Oklahoma, who is first in the Big 12, and only loss comes to Kansas and Norman.
Yep.
So and Texas Tech second in the Big 12, but Texas Tech really struggles with their pitching. Their best starter has a 4.11 ERA. So I think if they can take advantage of the pitcher, which they can, because they have a lot of offense, if they can get that going early, I think they'll have a good series, especially with it being the Big 12 home opener for them.
Right, Texas Tech is coming out with momentum. They won 5 of the last 7, but they really haven't done a ton this season to really show me that they're a great team. Like you said, the pitching hasn't been great. Their hitters are pretty good. They're all about a 280 team hitting as a team with 4 over 300 hitters, but nothing really stands out to say they're the second best team in the Big 12. So as KU gets more games under their belt in the Big 12, you'll start to see their stock rise.
And Kansas, they play really well at home. The last 8 games at home, they've won 7 of them really well. And also when pitchers are struggling and they start leading early on in the game, they're 20-2 this season. So if they can get it going early, they're good.
Their defense needs to stay solid, though. Like I said earlier, their defense has been playing really well, and Coach Smith is really impressed with it. So they need to keep that going, keep their pitching, keep their bats hot. That's their key to success.
We'll look at some stats. The team batting average, .279, which ranks 5th in the Big 12. They have top 5 categories. A lot of home runs, as you see. Brickey had 2 this weekend. 38 there. Low ERA, as we said. Formby carrying a lot of that low with a 2.61 ERA. And then team fielding percentage, as I said, no errors in 20 games, and they're second in fielding. So if they can keep the good defense going, we saw a lot of great defensive plays last weekend for them, outfield and infield wise. I think if you have good defense, you have good offense, you got good pitching, you can win a lot of games. Simple as that.
Yeah, they're a complete team from what we've seen so far this year. Obviously, they're one of the best teams in the Big 12 in every major statistical category. So that just spells success for this softball team.
Yeah, and hopefully going into the Big 12, this team can keep capitalizing on their players, on their offense, and keeping up that defense. Looking ahead, Texas Tech, like we talked about, what do you guys think the outcome's going to be, win or lose?
I think they could at least take 2 from Texas Tech. I mean, Texas Tech has a little bit of momentum due to taking 1 game from Texas, playing them really close, and Texas third in the Big 12, as we saw in those standings. So I think KU playing at home, they're going to have that good advantage.
I agree. I think they're gonna take 2 of the 3. They're gonna win the series. Texas Tech has a lot of momentum, and their offense is pretty good. I think they'll rough up one of KU's pitchers one day, but KU will be able to win the series.
All right, guys, and up next, we are previewing golf and tennis. April 29th marks the start of the NCAA tournament for golf, so we will be taking a look back and, of course, a look ahead at the tournament. Tennis has had a very inconsistent season, winning 3 to 4 games in a row to losing 3 to 4 games in a row. We will be right back talking both those sports here on the Playmakers.